This is Steve Kerr, and you're listening to the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.
Steve Kerr just tied Red Auerbach for 7th place on the all-time wins list in playoff history. He's got 99 playoff wins. He wins tonight. That would be 100 playoff wins for Steve Kerr. He'd be 6 all-time. Just tie Red Auerbach. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. The Quest for 5 brought to you by Merrill West Credit Union. Working for you today, tomorrow, and together. Tim Kawakami coming up in moments. But we got to get the Duke in the city. I need some bars in my life. Duke, what's happening?
Come on, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Allen, styling, profiling, man. You know, y'all know what we do around this time, man. Dub Nation, stand up, rise up, represent your team. If you think I wasn't going to call in, man, Clay going to slay, Steph going to chef, Poole going to party, Draymond going to go hard in the paint. You going to think his nickname was Franklin Saint. We're going to do it just like this, okay? Now, anybody having a game, YouTube call me the GOAT, spitting fire on my throat, hope my team don't choke, got me well on the bench. If you need a coach, the LA Lakers don't impress me. 3 after 3, Stephen Clay going to lead the scene messy. You a 6 shooter, they a hairpin trigger. We all up in the chase, Whippo banner, we the winner. LA Lakers, nothing more than a barbecue dinner. Warriors come out to play,
Ooh, Duke.
Tonight, y'all, and bring it home.
Shout out Lakeview. Shout out Duke. Shout out all the longshoremen. Duke coming in with the bars that we need on a Frisco Friday / Payday Friday / 50th Cent Friday. He's woke up the chat. He's woken up everybody in the Bay Area. And he's got Tim Kawakami on the line here, of course, from The Athletic. Tim Kawakami, he does it all in the Bay Area, whether it's interviewing Joe Lacob, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, Jed York, although I don't know if he's interviewed Jed York since he got hosed at the French Laundry way back when. But TK, good morning, my man. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning, Monte. No, I talked to Jed last off season. Come on now.
No, I know.
Get updated here. Get updated.
I trust me. I'll follow. I'm actually jealous of your guest list. I wish we had the same guests as you have. But there's only one TK, that's for sure. All right, Game 6 tonight down in Hollywood. I guess let's start with Andrew Wiggins. I know Marcus Thompson, your colleague. Marcus Thompson II does a great job with you guys and said that Andrew Wiggins said he will feel fine, but this injury sounds like it's a painful one, that it could linger for many, many weeks here. What is the latest on Andrew Wiggins? What have you heard? And what do you expect from him tonight if he does play?
I know he definitely was in some pain after the last game. Haven't seen him since. We'll see him at shoot around in a couple hours, see how he's moving. I got to believe he's going to try to play, going to be in some pain. Guys have played through this. Guys have also sat out for this. I mean, depends on the severity. And you can imagine, I mean, he's guarding LeBron and you got a rib injury and you get bumped a few times, maybe 100 times. It's not going to be pleasant. But I think you can imagine that Wiggins will be out there. He's not going to miss Game 6, but maybe he's going to be a little bit limited. Maybe he's, maybe a little less minutes. Maybe some other people are going to have to play some additional minutes and have to guard LeBron. I mean, Wiggins is such a huge part of this series, every series for the Warriors. But this one, because he's basically playing LeBron, and Wiggins was their best plus minus against the Lakers in the regular season. He's been their best plus minus in this series just because he plays the defense. He gives them some occasional buckets, at least the threat of it. If he's limited, and I think he's going to be limited, at least a little limited, they're going to have to find some things from other people. And we know in this series it's been a little hard for them to do that. So that's the big question going in here. How limited is he going to be? And if he's playing 30 minutes, that's about 14, 10 less than usual. Someone's going to have to play 10. Or someone's going to play 15. And who's that going to be, and are they going to play well?
Yeah, TK, just continuing on that path offensively, you got Game 6 Clay, which Bonte and I go back and forth with. All right, we don't want him to force anything.
He's had 2 straight duds in Game 6, so we may want to leave that alone.
Exactly. But defensively, if it does look like Wiggins is in pain, because look, the game is the game, and if LeBron decides, hey, we're just going to see how Wiggins can hold up, and if it's not going well, do you think that Steve Kerr has a secondary plan? And I know a lot of people have been talking about JK and Jonathan Kuminga. Do you think that could be a part of the secondary plan? If Wiggins is just getting body bumped and it's not going well, who do they turn to try to stop that, or at least divert the Lakers from going in that direction?
Yeah, I think Kuminga could be part of it. I don't think he's going to have a huge role here. Kind of hard to just drop him in Game 6 after not playing very much for quite a while here. But he's got the body to do it, and maybe he can say 4 minutes, just bail us out for a little bit. Don't shoot the ball. I think that might be part of it. Don't shoot unless it's standing right in front of the lane. Dive, do a Gary Payton thing. We'll see. That they get very scared with him turning the ball over, fouling. But I could see maybe a limited role, certainly if Wiggins is playing half as many minutes. I think Moody will be the main one, if I had to guess. He's had some minutes against LeBron, hasn't been terrible. He's young, he's aggressive. Gary Payton II might see some time, although they've been trying to spot him against D'Angelo Russell, and you start spreading him out a little thin and he's thin, and he's not as big as LeBron. I think you could spread it out that way. Clay has even seen some time against LeBron. Maybe you just kind of jigger it around and have him get some action against LeBron. I think it's going to be spread out. It's just going to be, that's Wiggins. You can just say you got LeBron. That's who you got,
right?
And maybe try to score on him and make him work a little bit, and maybe make them switch off of you and then have to put somebody else on you to give LeBron a break. It just kind of screws things up for the Lakers when that happens. Don't really have that on to replace Wiggins. That's why he's so special for them. But I could see them if you're just looking at defending LeBron, which is obviously a huge thing. I think the main person who could take some of that is probably Moody at this point. He's got the minutes in this series, has played LeBron some, has some strength to him. Not going to do the same thing that Wiggins can do, but going to do some of it, and clearly isn't the same offensive player as Wiggins is, but maybe he can pop in a shot or two.
Tim Kawakami, of course, columnist for The Athletic. Listen to the TK show. He has some great guests on there. I love his podcast. And I think you make a great point about Kuminga. I feel the same way, TK. I feel uncomfortable. I don't think it'd be fair to JK. I don't think it'd be fair to anybody to just, hey, game 6, do or die game. All these Lakers, all these streaks are on the line here. Let's go ahead and plop in Kuminga, who's 20 years old and hasn't played. I'm with you there, but I wonder if they will go to more 3-guard lineup tonight if Wiggins can't go to try to speed the game up. What that means is a lot more Jordan Poole. And I know Jordan Poole has been shaky in this series, but maybe they go on defense and they run a little bit more zone to try to protect Jordan Poole and Steph Curry on the defensive end, because if Wiggins can't go, then that puts a lot more pressure on Jordan Poole to produce for this team.
Yeah, no question. No, he's going to have to play some of this game, play a lot, and on the road, it's always a little tougher on the road, especially for role players, and Poole is a role player right now. He certainly has been in the postseason. He's been up and down and down and down and down and up a little bit. But, you can say zone. I agree. They probably can play some zone. It does kind of camouflage some things, but it does end up being somebody guarding LeBron, even in the zone defense. Right? You're not just not guarding LeBron in the zone. Somebody's going to end up guarding whoever's in that area is going to end up guarding LeBron. It's going to be tough. Draymond's going to be on Anthony Davis. You're not going to send him over to LeBron. It's just going to be somebody with some size is going to have to be in there. Playing Steph and Poole together is a little tough, because even in the zones, one of them's going to end up on Austin Reeves. It's going to take it to the basket. One of them's going to end up on D'Angelo Russell. One of them's, there are guys that those guys have to guard, even in the zone. I do think they're going to play some of it. They played some of it last game, just to kind of mix things up. Maybe give Draymond a little bit of a breather where he's not just leaning on AD the whole time. He can play a little zone. But I agree, from points wise, you think about if they're hoping for 18 to 20 from Wiggins and they're not going to get that, Jordan Poole is the way they fill that void. Or Clay or Steph just goes crazy, right?
Yeah.
They always got that card.
Yeah,
Doesn't
no doubt.
always happen, but you say, you know what? Everything else, other things being equal, Steph just go for 45.
Yeah,
that happened in Game 7. Again, you can't always just say it's going to happen. That is one way they can pull this game out.
Especially Klay Thompson shooting 29% in his last 3 games against the Lakers. In this series, I should say, 8 of 24 from the three-point line, and he's been kind of forcing it. They're not giving him a lot of airspace there, but it'd be nice to get a Klay game, no doubt about that. Tim, if they do lose tonight, because it's a possibility there, the Lakers are undefeated at home. I know the Warriors are trying to win a road game in the playoff series for the 29th straight time, which is an NBA record. But if they do not win, or if they don't win a championship this year, can they still have this core come back and be intact with the same core group going into the next season?
I think they can. I think no matter what, everything changes. The roster is never exactly the same. It wasn't the same during the middle of the dynasty from year to year.
Right.
It's up to Draymond. He's got the player option. I think, that's 50-50 or maybe even leaning the Warriors' way there, depending on what kind of money that they will make for him. But I think as long as Steph Curry's this great, and even if he wasn't this great, you probably listen to whatever Steph says. Very, very important person here.
Yep.
I think he wants Draymond back, so I think you can work that out. I think just beating the Kings. I think if they had lost to the Kings once, it would be like, okay, maybe this just isn't working.
Right.
They won that one. It would not be great to lose to the Lakers, but you could explain it to yourselves. You could say a lot of different things happen. And can this core, maybe with a few other upgrades, compete like this, yes, I think you could say that. I think you can give Draymond a 3-year extension or whatever he would want, however you can work that. I don't know that there would be a humongous market for Draymond out there. Might be. It only takes one team, but not a lot of teams are under the cap.
Right.
Warriors don't have to do a sign and trade. A lot of these things, feel like it. They could have control of the situation if they're willing to give Draymond a little bit of a raise, a couple more years. I think that feels like it could stay the same. The Bob Myers thing, I don't know. I mean, that's up to Bob. His contract is up. He might just want to go. Well, no matter what. It might be even more so if they win. He would feel his job is fulfilled. It does feel like he's very, very much looking and very, very much at peace with the possibility of leaving. I don't know that he will. I find it hard to believe. I've written this many times. Do you want to be the first one to leave Steph Curry? Is that, it's tough.
Yeah.
But I could see, and I think Bob is much more the wild card than Draymond at this point, because that one is almost not up to Joe Lacob. That one is whether Bob feels like his job here is done, and largely whether somewhere there's another better opportunity, or maybe he just wants to do something new. I don't know. I think they keep the core together beyond Bob. Then it'll be different. It'll feel different without if I know you guys have put this on social media. Let me just say if Myers makes this decision. I do not want to see this on social media, but we'll see. Then they'll have to retool around that, and I think they've got a couple more years where they can be this good, but some of these decisions are out of their hands, and the new CBA is going to be a little difficult for their. We know the luxury tax thing. I think there's a very big question about Jordan Poole. Very big question.
No doubt.
Poole, and. Is that breaking up the core? In my sense right now, it doesn't feel like it's breaking up the core if they trade Jordan Poole.
No doubt.
If they could get something good for him.
TK, trust me, our social media team, I get nervous about some of the things I say out here. They're clipping us, too. So it's not just you. They're doing it to us 5 days a week. Go ahead, Alec. Get in here.
Yeah, Tim, I was just going to say, speaking of social media, we know social media is going to be talking about whoever wins this series in the national media and the local media as well. In your opinion, what does this series mean for the legacy of Steph or LeBron, depending on what happens?
Yeah, I don't think it means a lot of different. I mean, it could only add to it. I don't think it's subtracting to either one of them. The championships are won. They're there. The MVPs are won. They're there. You could just say, look, at this advanced age, they move forward. Look at that. I mean, I just think the Curry championship last year was the capstone, and you're just not backing off of that. That's not getting worse. It only can be added to win a championship at 34. MVP of the finals, without Durant. So that means Steph has won 2 without Durant and 2 with Durant. You can't just say the Durant thing was the only reason they won championships, multiple championships, and LeBron's legacy of all the finals trips, of all the championships. It's made. These are made men. It's just going to add to it. Winning championships past the age that Michael Jordan did. I think that's significant if they do. Well, and LeBron already has won one at an age past Jordan did. It's just. These are unique players in the history of sports, and I just can't. You don't get to a point where okay, now we start subtracting from these. No, they've done it. These are things they put up there. Do the Wizards years subtract from Michael Jordan's legacy? No, they don't.
Right.
You add to it once you've established yourself as one of the top 5, 7 players in the league history, and I believe these two guys have. And now you're just talking about how much more do you go? How much higher do you go? And just talking for Steph, if he drags the Warriors to the championship this year,
wow,
he's like, this is remarkable stuff. This has never been done for a guard his size, just never. And he will be, Magic was, for various reasons was out of the league by now. Isaiah was out of the league by now. Michael Jordan's last championship was 35. This is just, these are things that we're seeing that have never been done before, and so I can't start subtracting from a guy if he doesn't do things that no one's ever done before. Just think about that. No one's ever done this.
Yep.
So I'm not going to say, okay, that's it. I'm going to dock you 2 points. No, not doing that one.
Yeah, nobody's subtracting Jordan, as you said, from the Wizards days. Nobody's subtracting anything off of Hakeem Olajuwon's legacy, even though he played for the Raptors, and nobody remembers that at the end of his career. Last one for you, TK, before you get out. I do want to ask you about the Niners. Now, their schedule got released yesterday. Week 1 in Pittsburgh. Week 2 down in L.A. at SoFi Stadium against the Rams, and, of course, their home opener in Week 3 against the Giants on Thursday Night Football. But it's the quarterback situation again for the 7th straight year under Kyle Shanahan. We got a quarterback dilemma here. Darnold getting talked up a lot. Trey Lance getting talked up now. Brock Purdy, the timeline. What do you make of this quarterback situation here? Because I wouldn't be surprised by anything. If Darnold starts week 1, I'm not going to be shocked. If Trey starts, I may be mildly surprised. And if Brock comes back, I may be a little shocked coming off that injury. So what do you make of all this situation with the quarterbacks in San Francisco?
Yeah, just about all that. You know, they got a lot, as usual, at quarterback. They got a lot of things up in the air. I think if you know Kyle Shanahan, it's Brock Purdy, and they feel confident that he will be back early in the season, whether that's week 1 or not. Probably not, the likeliest situation, but week 2, week 3, and it's Brock Purdy. That's the guy. They committed to him end of last season. It really, you could feel it in the organization. That's the guy. Obviously, the elbow injury puts that in question mark. Just puts the first week or 2 of starting in some question. I think they really like Darnold. They would have signed him if they didn't. He's still young. They were intrigued by him in that when he came out in the draft. I think he's been coached poorly, but they have strong. They have feelings about Trey Lance too. That he still has something. They liked him when they drafted him. They love the makeup. They love the character. They love the intelligence. Has to put that on the field. I think they've got 2 guys battling for number 2. One of them might start the first couple games while Purdy's out, but Purdy's the quarterback. He is the guy, and they're pretty, they feel good about that. At some point, he's going to be their starter, and when he's the starter, when he's healthy, they're going to feel very comfortable with what they do. They're going to feel like they're one of the best teams in the NFC. I think they think they're the best team in the NFC, but they didn't beat the Eagles last postseason. Right. And so everything else is admittedly a little bit cloudy and a little bit, uncertain just because of the injury to Purdy and the fact that they brought Darnold in to compete with Trey Lance. But in the Shanahan world, it's pretty clear cut. It's Purdy and then Darnold and Lance. Let's see what you do. Let's just see it on the field.
Let's wait
see the practice field. And while the rest of the world gets a little antsy about all that, and I understand why, and it makes for good talk show hosts, conversation and columns and all that. Shanahan doesn't live like that. He doesn't live like he's worried about. He's just like, okay, these are the options. Go, let's see what happens on the field. Right. And he's very comfortable making a decision off of that.
It does make me queasy to talk about this every other day about the quarterback situation, man. It's not one of my favorite topics, but we're here, and we'll be here sooner if the Warriors don't win tonight, Game 6. How do you see this going, TK, before we get you out of here?
Yeah, this one I'm not so sure of. I was pretty sure they were going to win Game 5 at home. This one, you never know when LeBron's might pull a 35, 15, and 10 out of his pocket, right? He's got that. Now, with Wiggins not 100%, maybe that upset. I think there will be some pressure on the home team. There always is in later stage games. It's always a little bit more on the home team. Depends on the start. If the Warriors get out to a blazing start, Crypto.com arena is going to get a little bit tight, and that happens. Lakers certainly good enough to make some. Lonnie Walker might reemerge again and be reborn after he was kind of disappeared in game 5. That happens. I don't know. I think it's a coin flip game. I think Steph or Clay is due to make some shots, which should bring this at least to the end of the fourth quarter, and then we'll see. Is there a Lonnie Walker? Can the Lakers pull out another Lonnie Walker? Is it Schroeder? Is it Hachimura? Is it whoever? Austin? Whatever. They got more of those guys than the Warriors do. So one of them might hit, and if none of them hit, I think the Warriors win this game.
All right, TK, have fun down there. Crypto.com arena will be reading your work, as well as everybody's over there at The Athletic. You guys do a hell of a job. You know that. And also listen to the TK Show. TK, thanks for the time today, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Anytime. Tim Kawakami here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.